Dímelo, mi gente. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo están? Doing a live stream to end the year because I think that's about the only time I'm going to have. And I'm going to open up TikTok right now. But I think this is going to be the only time I'm going to have before the start of the new year to go ahead and talk about this ticket sales process. I haven't really dove into it too much. Okay. And I felt that rather than doing like a more formal video, with the lights and everything, kind of, maybe set myself up a bit more. I figured let's just go, just hit the live. Let's just get on. Let's just talk. And then we'll just go from there. Let me quickly set up the TikTok here as well. But YouTube, thank you for joining me here. End of year wrap up, end of year talk, Club World Cup, and the World Cup, because now the World Cup is coming into frame. Now the World Cup is also coming into frame. We don't have information about the specific dates for the tickets being sold and everything, but it's now coming into the distance. You start beginning to see the signs on the road in that respect. So we have the Club World Cup. Let's talk about that first. Let me get TikTok going, and then we'll jump in. Of course, as you know, on YouTube, if you're going to watch this on YouTube, this is a live stream, so I am going to be, pretty much repeating content at times, but I do encourage y'all to watch the whole stream if you can. It obviously helps with the algorithms. It obviously helps with the watch hours I need to achieve, which is 3,000 watch hours. Right now we're at 400. TikTok, what up? ¿Cómo está mi gente? Dímelo, aquí estamos aquí listos on TikTok. I am live streaming on YouTube as well. Okay, let's talk about the end of the year 2024. Let's talk about the Club World Cup ticket sales process. Let's talk about the World Cup, what we got coming up. We got a little bit of everything else too. Some economic news, politics. Hey, that all involves. That all is part of it, fam. So do understand that. All right. But bueno, let's get started here. And if you got obviously questions, go ahead, drop them in the comments. And if you have any other topics you want to talk about, anything you want to bring up, please go ahead and do so. Mainly going to be facing my computer screen right here since I am doing a YouTube live stream. But TikTok, I am paying attention to the chat right here as well. Okay. So we got plenty to talk about, and I am a little bit under the weather right now as well. So please, if you notice my voice cracks up a little bit, or it's just kind of taking a minute, I am a little bit under the weather. It's myself too. So that's why haven't been able to do a lot of the content. But let's catch up here. So Club World Cup, let me know if you were able to purchase tickets. And I already got one comment right here. Hey, bro, the experience here in Seattle was relatively easy. I bought 12 tickets around $150 each with the pre-sale code with no issue. I looked up the codes that did before the general sale. Okay, so that's good to see that you were able to purchase those tickets at that price. I have not purchased any tickets whatsoever for the Club World Cup. All right, part of it was because I was on vacation, spending time with family. Didn't really, sit down to really buy these tickets. When do we buy the Club World Cup tickets? They're on sale right now, fam. So the Club World Cup tickets are already on sale. And so if you haven't bought them like myself, really go ahead and take a look at the prices. I think now that we're a couple of weeks out from the first day of the ticket sales, I think it's safe to say from the comments that a lot of you have made is that this sale was a success for Ticketmaster and it was a success for FIFA, which we probably didn't want it to be a success if we're completely honest about it. And the reason for that is that you don't want to encourage a situation where you might be seeing FIFA reconsider how they're going to sell their tickets for the 2026 World Cup and then decide, hey, we're going to go again with Ticketmaster. Okay. Now let's break down some of the things of what went right, at least from my observation outside. Okay. So I'm going to write down some notes here as well. So, and I'm going to be answering questions in between here. So do you know when the elimination rounds go on sale for the Club World Cup? I think I got some information here, and it was January 16th is when it's supposed to go on sale of 2025. Okay. But also I don't know if people might be confusing. I know I saw it there on Ticketmaster's website. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think that information is mixing up with the hospitality tickets that are also going to go on sale in January by Beyond Hospitality. Okay. So if you really wanted to go in style to those games of the Club World Cup, you'll have that opportunity to buy the hospitality tickets in January instead. All right. So what were some of the things that I noticed from the club from this ticket sales process of the Club World Cup that really I would say worked out well for FIFA at the end of the day and for Ticketmaster, of course, in that respect. The first one is the lack of information up until basically 48 hours before. Okay, so at first when I was doing some videos from Vienna, right, when I was on vacation, it seemed that this was a disadvantage, right? FIFA was not spilling any information about. FIFA was not really spilling any information about how they were going to do the ticket sales process for the Club World Cup. Okay, they didn't really, just say anything, right? And it was getting to 72 hours. It was getting to 48 hours, and around the 48-hour mark, you got that first email, right? Hey, the pre-sale for those that are season ticket holders goes on sale. Perfect. So I do think that FIFA delaying and waiting until the last minute to start selling the tickets for the Club World Cup did help because it did limit the damage that the scalpers could do. Now, here's a caveat to that. A lot of people began sharing those pre-sale codes. I was discouraging the sharing of those codes for several reasons. One, season ticket holders paid to be season ticket holders. One of the perks that they get for being a season ticket holder is having access to those codes. So when people started sharing them, they're basically screwing over the people that are season ticket holders. Okay, and so that was not from a sense of fairness, from a sense of you're putting that money into that. It just didn't make any sense. Okay, it was not fair. It was not fair for the season ticket holders to lose out on the opportunity to purchase their tickets because you have people jumping the line, you have people sharing the codes. Now, was the code too easy to crack? Yes, because some people started sharing me the codes, and again, I wasn't sharing them, I wasn't even using them. But you could tell rather quickly, oh, this code is too easy to break. So if there's one mistake that FIFA did here in this, they did the 48-hour notice, okay, which was good, but then the code was too easy to figure out. It got shared, and then of course some scalpers were able to get tickets. Okay, that's why I didn't want to share the codes either, because scalpers were either going to act like, oh my God, please, I just want to see Real Madrid. And then it's just like, bullshit. I'm going to go ahead and sell these tickets. Or they were taking advantage of all of these fans, of their naiveness. And I have to call it out. It's naive for you to think, oh, well, I'm just helping out everybody. Yeah, you're helping the scalpers to make money. And in turn, screwing all of us over as a result. So the sharing of the codes was a negative. You already saw it at the beginning on the Thursday, right? When the general public sale went online, prices for some of these games were off the charts. Specifically, the Inter Miami matches, some of the Real Madrid matches, ridiculous prices. And a large part of that, and those were verified resale. So, of course, you're asking yourself, wait a minute, how was this better verified resale? Because of the scalpers getting access to those codes. Okay? All right. Pause here. TikTok, thank you so much. I'm going to answer a couple questions here right now from TikTok. All right. Make sure that you're following me here. I am Travel Football Fan. I'm helping fans save money in travel the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Please make sure you tap the screen in front of you to increase the likes. Let's go ahead and get those likes up. Please make sure you're following me on all socials, including here on YouTube. If you're watching me here on TikTok, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. We got to hedge on the fact that the TikTok ban might happen, might not happen. So we have to make sure that you are following me on all other socials. Blue Sky, not going to be involved on X moving forward, and of course on Instagram and YouTube. So please make sure you're following me on all of those platforms. Again, thank you for your support. I'm going to answer a couple of questions here from TikTok in the meantime. Dynamic pricing has to be outlawed. Where's Nancy Pelosi? Well, Nancy Pelosi ain't in charge, fam. That's the Republicans now. Hit up Mike Johnson. Hit up Mike Johnson, JD the Couch Vance, and Trumpito El Douche. Hit them up. It ain't Nancy's fault anymore, fam. But I do agree on the premise that dynamic pricing has to be outlawed. So this is actually a good segue into this other part, right? That when then the general sale began, everybody went for those Real Madrid tickets, for the Manchester City, para Inter Miami, and that drove up the price. So which is why we didn't want to encourage the resharing of those codes, of those pre-sale codes, because then you had scalpers getting access to those tickets and putting a higher price on them, which then only encouraged more people to chase down those tickets quickly to increase the price further. It's like you getting out of the club or late after a game, and you're picking a ride, and you're like, "Dang, this Uber, this Lyft it costs so much." It's because everyone else is requesting the Uber and the Lyft at the same time. So ideally, if we would have not shared the codes, that would have limited even more so the damage the scalpers would have done, and then thus would have deflated a bit that dynamic aspect. Should this be outlawed completely? It should be completely outlawed. But of course, Ticketmasters with Live Nation are one of the biggest, or it's the biggest ticketing platform. It's the biggest ticketing agency here in the United States and in Mexico, I believe, as well. And they run one of the biggest lobbyist groups here in DC. Here's where the politics comes in. So if you don't really like this dynamic pricing, you need to vote for the people that are against dynamic pricing, that are against Ticketmaster. You know? So that's that. Now, this is getting to this point. Pablo Golazo here on YouTube. The World Cup tickets will end up the same way. I don't know. I don't know if this process is going to repeat for the World Cup, right? And that was the fear. We kind of wanted this process with the Club World Cup to go kaput. So in that way, FIFA says, you know what, Ticketmaster, screw you guys. We're going to go back to our IP and sell it on our own. Okay? But of course, FIFA, and with Gianni leading the lead on this Club World Cup has been his project. And it has been quite a kind of a classic example of building the plane while you fly it, right? Because if you saw when they announced the host cities, they went to that global something concert that was happening in Times Square in Central Park in New York. And it was like a 5-minute intro. Oh, yeah, here are the host cities. Cool, whatever, we out. Very cheap would be one way to describe it. Budget friendly would definitely be one way that Gianni would describe it himself. And then just the rest of the preparation for the Club World Cup has been on the budget, except for that trophy. Let me know what y'all think about that trophy, because that trophy is ridiculous. To go to Tiffany and Company, pimp out that trophy so much. Right? It's such a crazy trophy. It's such a crazy trophy. Am I not wrong about that? Please let me know in the comments. Am I wrong about that trophy being the craziest thing I've ever seen? The guy, you know, if Infantino pulling out a key and making the trophy kind of like open up a portal or some shit. Crazy. No, I'm not on Twitch, folks. I'm not on Twitch. I'm gonna try to monetize here on YouTube first. All right, get to the required numbers, and then we'll go from there. Let me see some other questions here in the meantime. I'm waiting for the World Cup. Of course, these Club World Cup tickets aren't bad at all. So, for the most part, and I think this is actually another part of this Club World Cup process, the tickets were relatively priced well. Right now, I could still buy tickets to go see Botafogo and the Seattle Sounders for about $117, which is a little bit higher than what I want to pay for. But if I'm going to be up there in Seattle with family, I'll pay it. Okay? Now, are there some games that are out, like, you know, like overly priced, in my opinion? Yes. So, for example, here in DC, I'm looking into Salzburg versus Al Ahly. I should not be having to pay over $100 for that game. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's Neymar. I should not be having to pay over $100 for that game based on the quality on the pitch. You're basically saying I'm going to pay $100 for Neymar. No, no, no. Travel football fan, the best way to get tickets is by buying them on your club's website. Yes, if you want to sit with your club, right, with fans of your club, right? If you don't care about that, then Ticketmaster, right? So, question: how did all the tickets run out so quick? Well, there was high demand, so there was high demand, okay. But then again, the sharing of these codes. I go back to that point, people, okay, because people started sharing these codes. It gave access to more people to get to those tickets. I'm sure some just wanted to beat the line and just wanted to see their team. Okay. But many others were scalpers and they got access to those tickets and they put them up into stupid prices. Porto versus Inter Miami sold out. It's stupidly priced. Yes. So the prices were. So this is actually one of the bad things of this Club World Cup ticket process was that the tickets, there was not one set price for all games. It was basically, well, everyone wants to see Messi, so let's price that up here. No one gives a damn about Wydad and Al Ain, so let's price that down to $47. And even that's still a little too expensive. Okay? So that made no sense. Okay? Clearly, FIFA was looking to max out profits by doing that, right? By not setting up a unified price for all matches, regardless of the teams, they wanted to incentivize money making, which of course kind of does make sense given the politics that FIFA has had to play with UEFA, especially with Real Madrid, with PSG, with Man City. There's a gente. Okay? Because they haven't really been able to tell these clubs, hey, y'all going to make this much money off of this tournament. So they kind of needed to make this tournament a cash cow in order for the viability of this tournament to continue, which is why then the prices were all over the place. Was that a good thing? No. The prices being all over the place, made it confusing for fans, right? Because then the fans couldn't figure out how much to budget to purchase tickets, right? They couldn't figure out, well, now I have to figure out my travel and this and that. Is this really worth it? We still don't know the pricing and or when the tickets for the 2026 World Cup are going to go on sale. So that also created a situation where you just have a lot of uncertainties right now with your money, with your financial plan for 2025, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why having these prices be all over the place indicated the strategy that FIFA wanted to implement here. Make as much money as possible so in that way they can go and tell Real Madrid, they can tell these clubs, bring your A players, because that's still not really, necessarily confirmed, right? They're supposed to bring their A players, but they might not play them the entire game. They might put them as second half subs or show up the last 10 minutes, like these glorified summer friendlies that they usually do, these tours that they do around the world. So it might not be that you see Mbappe and Vinny a full 90 on the group stage. That's still a possibility. You might not see those guys, maybe even at all. Totally possible. They're supposed to, but not the case. So, will the World Cup tickets be sold through Ticketmaster? That is the $1 billion question, right? Because then, and I'm talking the Club World Cup ticket process right now because that's going to lead to a lot of the conversation for the World Cup, okay? So I'm breaking down what went right, what went wrong for the Club World Cup ticket process, okay? But again, and some of you did use Rakuten. Some of you used my referral code. About like 3 or 4 of you used my referral code. Thank you very much. You would have saved yourself some extra money. You got to use all the tricks of the book. If you're buying tickets through Ticketmaster, use Rakuten. 1% cash back on the standard ticket prices, 3% cash back on the verified resale ticket prices. Or if you have an American Express credit card, 3 times Amex points on the verified resale ticket prices, 1 times Amex points on the standard ticket price. Fam, we got to use all the tricks of the playbook now. We're only 18, well, now 19, 18. Let's just say we're 18 and a half months away from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We need to start using all the tricks of the book, and these are totally legal ways. I'm saying none bad. You need to use all the tricks of the book for you to start saving up your cash. And if you have the chance and the ability to earn travel points and miles, to do that as well. Because if you don't do that, that's got to get hard. It's got to get hard. It's got to get hard, okay, to be able to do that, okay? But again, going back to this question of, are the World Cup tickets going to be sold to Ticketmaster? It's the $1 billion question, and I do not know. I made 2 separate videos on my TikTok and Instagram about 3 reasons why it would be sold through Ticketmaster and 3 reasons why it would not be sold through Ticketmaster. And actually, I think I still have the notes here of those videos. Let me see if I do. It might be in another. Oh, my. Okay, it might be in another of these legal pads right here. Let me see if I can pull this up right quick. All right. Because it's real. Honestly, it's really going to be. It could go either way, to be completely honest. The way that this Club World Cup ticket sales process went, it was about the best case scenario possible for FIFA. Okay, because now, and even for Ticketmaster, if you look at it from Ticketmaster's point of view, now Ticketmaster can come to FIFA and say, hey, look, we did all right, didn't we? We made money, didn't we? Like, we're good. We can redo this, right? We can do this for the World Cup again. Now, I couldn't find the notes, but I would say this. The 3 reasons why Ticketmaster will not be used for the 2026 World Cup is, 1, FIFA has its own IP, right? Its own platform to use for the World Cup. They didn't have that for the Club World Cup because of the way they were going about building this tournament, right? They didn't have the partnerships in place. They didn't have the ticket sales platform in place. You would have thought, they couldn't just replicate the same one for the World Cup. I guess they couldn't. So what they didn't have for the Club World Cup, they do have for the World Cup. They do have that platform that they can use. 2, Ticketmaster isn't global. It's not, it's a big thing here in the States and Mexico and probably in a couple other countries, but it's not a global, it can't connect globally. So Ticketmaster has never handled that type of global event before. Club World Cup is probably like the biggest they've done. And is FIFA going to really trust Ticketmaster for that? They don't need to take that risk, right? FIFA does not need to take that risk and then go from there. So you bought the final 22 World Cup ticket through a third-party vendor. Okay, you probably shouldn't be saying that out loud too much. It depends on the FIFA attorneys. I've already been talking with FIFA. I don't switch to FIFA like that, but my advice is don't share that information. But you can imagine that FIFA still wants to make 100% of the profits for themselves for their World Cup. The Club World Cup probably was an Infantino situation where he had to say, you know what? I'll share the profits for the Club World Cup because I need to make money to convince the clubs to bring and play their top players. So I need to do all that. Okay. So it is what it is in that respect, right? The fans from the other countries, and of course within the politics of FIFA, right? The politics, of each of these countries having that one vote to vote for the president, to vote for all the things that FIFA does. They're probably not going to be happy if then their fans can't get tickets. They're going to be on a hot seat in each of the confederations, thus putting pressure on Gianni to not use Ticketmaster. So those would be the reasons why they wouldn't use Ticketmaster. Okay. Why let Ticketmaster make the most money? Because, of course, if it is used, right, yes, the money possibilities that FIFA can make is great, but then Ticketmaster will probably take a lot more of that pie. So it's a question like, does FIFA decide to share the wealth again, as they're doing right now with the Club World Cup, or no, we're gonna keep our money and go from there? Now, why would I not encourage you to use third-party vendors for the World Cup? the prices are just going to be much higher. It's as simple as that. Could you get the ticket? Yeah. Should you? That's a financial decision that I'm going to leave you to. But more often than not, those tickets are going to be triple the price. Might even be higher. If you're going to buy resale for the World Cup through Ticketmaster, use Rakuten for goodness sake. Get that cash back. Right? I don't recommend it because it's going to be much higher price. But if you're going to, coño, make it easy on yourself, right? Make it easy on yourself, right? And get yourself that cash back. You know, it's the $1 billion question. We don't know. You know, all this time, FIFA has used its own platform. FIFA has had its own process to sell its own tickets. I think that at the end of the day, most fans will agree that we still want FIFA to use that same platform because we get away from this whole mess of sharing codes. Scalpers, we won't have to deal with them as much, right? As much. And this is a global tournament, fam. What are we doing trying to, like, you know, keep this tournament like only a USA thing? I understand with the politics that the Trump administration is coming in with. They want to ban certain countries from flying in, from coming here in the first place, right? Countries like Iraq, which could make the World Cup. Iran, definitely making the World Cup. That's going to be a problem right there that Gianni's going to have to fix. Venezuela, if they make it, no Venezolanos can come here. Nah, but don't be blaming me, right? Those are the politics and the policies that this administration is coming in with. And so to then deny those tickets to a global audience when we're hosting a global tournament doesn't really quite make a lot of sense, in my opinion. So I think FIFA's still going to sell its own tickets for the World Cup, but FIFA and Ticketmaster were successful in the sale of the Club World Cup tickets in the sense that they were, most fans were happy. Sure, did some fans not? Were they able to not get tickets? Sure, right? Some fans weren't able to get tickets. Sure, but for the most part, most fans were happy with the ticket process. They were happy with the prices. They were willing to pay a little bit more, right? Don't remember, you have to pay those fees to Ticketmaster. And so it seems that overall, FIFA survived, you could say, its first point of criticism by, or rather not by, but they survived its first point of criticism through this ticket sales process that they did for the Club World Cup. Okay, so that's probably what did happen there. Okay, I'm hitting up on 28 minutes here on YouTube. YouTube, please feel free to ask questions here as well. Go ahead and ask me questions here as well. TikTok, again, I am travel football fan. I'm helping fans save money and travel the 2026 World Cup and the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup as well. Please let me know what tickets you purchase as well. Right now, I need to purchase my tickets, but I'm trying to get some family together to go watch the Sounders game. I am trying to also pull off a single day. I'm going to try to watch 2 games of the Club World Cup on the same day because there are games being hosted here in DC and in Philadelphia. I am looking into how I'm able to do that. Great content making opportunity. Maybe I'll be able to meet some of y'all along my travel to Philadelphia and back here to my hometown of DC. So that would be interesting to do that. I'm looking to hopefully square away those things at this time. But I do have a confession to make. All right, I'm going to give it a minute. Mi gente, I have spent all my World Cup money. I spent it all. No, Fight Like Parlay. Not on the Club World Cup tickets. I decided to pay off my student loans. Just pay off the student loans. I had $6,000 left. I had $4,000 in the bank, in my HYSA, my high yield savings account, and with some extra savings that we do have. I said, I'm gonna start 2025 clean, $0. Yep, $0 saved for the World Cup. Tough choice, but I just wanted to get these student loans over and done with. So a couple of days, once the payments and everything, process, I will be debt fucking free. Debt fucking free, fam. 9 years it took to pay off these grad school loans, fam. And I hope that the new job, hopefully there's a new job that comes along the way that will make it be worth it, right? That will pay me six figures, that will give me a lot more economic security. But my current contract ends on January 31st. So we might be again in that situation of like, hey, I'm not making as much money as I could be making, but at least I will be done with my student loans. So yeah, it's been also part of the hesitation to announce that, because you can say, well, wait a minute, what the hell? You're basically throwing out your World Cup strategy out the window. And it's very true, right? Very, very, very true. Could I have waited another couple of months to pay off the student loans little by little? Yes. But I think, and then starting the new year on a positive note. And I think that what better way to say, yo, I'm ending 2024, starting 2025 with no student debt. So that's the big confession I had to make. I am going to be debt free in a couple of days once all the payments process. No savings in the World Cup, or at least not right now. There'll be more money coming in. Of course, I'll have a few more checks to come, but it is a big financial win. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Thank you. It's a big financial win because if you think about it, by taking care of this student loan payments, right? I was paying $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month this year from May to December, knocking down the rest of that stupid balance. Knocking it down. Toma. And yeah, we had 6,000 left, and it was like, all right, screw it. Then let's just pay the rest of it now. Which then means that even when my contract ends and I just basically I'm only making money off of ojalá TikTok is still around, but maybe YouTube will start being monetized at that point for my coaching. I don't then have to put money from that to student loans. I'm done with that, right? Is owning a home a debt? Technically, yes, it is, because you have a mortgage to the bank. I don't really consider it as much a debt as a expense. You have to live somewhere. So whether you were going to rent or mortgage, it's still a living expense. And so that's why I don't really consider it a debt, even though I understand that technically speaking, it is a debt. But no credit card debt, no car payment debt, no student loan debt. I'm still very much in the belief that we should be canceling all student loans, or if at the least cancel the interest on these loans. It's not that people don't want to pay back the loans. It's that they need help. They need help with the interest. The interest is what kills the financial futures of so many Americans here in this country. Okay, the interest. I had mine at 3%. And I mean, at $25,000, that's about $100, $200 extra a month. Right now, not so much, but it does hurt, I respect that. No student loans to make way for the World Cup credit card debt. No. That's exactly what I don't want to do, right? That's exactly what not to do, all right? If you do decide to do that, even though I highly advise against it, you should sign up for a credit card that has a 0% APR interest for 12 to 15 months. That way, you give yourself a year to pay off whatever World Cup debt you decide to take in. Okay? But again, you have to be strategic with that type of strategy. You have to have a plan in place. Okay? You have to have your financial house in order to be able to do those types of moves, right? Cancel interest rate on house mortgages too. I completely agree. Housing should be a human right. They call me woke for that, but we shouldn't be having homeless people out in the streets just because of they were medically bankrupt. Veterans should not be in the streets at all. Like, F that. They served our country. They should not be out in the streets. You can't tell me that's a woke statement, fam. Like, damn. Are there some people that are out homeless because of their mistakes? Yes, but even then, we should be trying to help them out one way or another, try to get their lives straight. And if they choose not to, then that's on them. But too many people homeless in this country, fam. Too many. But anyway, let me not digress. I digress from that. I digress. So, with the student loans done, that's going to give me an opportunity to now, whatever extra money I do make moving forward, boom, put it towards savings for the World Cup, put it towards my retirement funds, because I do need to bump that up a bit too. You know, the World Cup comes in 18 months, but what happens afterwards? I need to start saving my money for retirement, fam. Gotta do that. It's gonna allow me the financial flexibility that, you know, I've been waiting for, to say the least. So, yeah, just wanted to share that here. You know, to show you that even as you're planning, and I probably will end the stream on this note, and the live here on TikTok as well on this note. You know, even though you're planning for things like, for example, like planning financially for a World Cup, or for, you know, some of y'all getting married, buying a home, it's all about having the strategy in place that, yes, that's going to happen in a year or 2 years or 3 years from now. And you're saying to yourself, and as you organize yourself, you're like, yo, as we achieve this goal, we can also achieve these other financial goals. Okay. This has been the whole reason, the whole point of Travel Football Fan, you know, since I came back from Qatar in 2022, was how are we going to become financial winners for the 2026 World Cup. In 2023, I was underemployed. I was underemployed for 2024 as well. Finally got a job, which, yes, did not pay me as much as I've made before. Now that's coming to an end, but at least now I'm going to be student loan debt free. That's going to set me up perfectly for, hopefully, when I do get a next job in 2025, I'm going to be financially capable to save for the World Cup, you know, Club World Cup too, right? If I decide to go to a couple games, and just be financially flexible to do that. You should be a financial advisor. Probably not. I'm not the best at math. But I appreciate the sentiment, though. I do appreciate the sentiment, though. Thank you, Chris. 6 months enough time to plan properly for Club World Cup. Plenty of time. You have the schedule. You know the cities. You could book a consultation with me. I know I need to fix that survey to adjust for Club World Cup. But you have my consultation service, $25 for 30 minutes. It is going to go up in price for January. So just FYI on that. But more than enough time. You should, however, be buying your travel right now, right? If you have the tickets for your games and you know where they're going to be and you know that you need to travel, do that now. Buy your train tickets, your plane tickets, car rental, whatever it is, your hotel rooms now. Because the longer you wait, and you wait closer to the start of this tournament, the price on that is going to go up and up and up. So you don't want to do that, okay? You want to go ahead, all right? You want to go ahead and purchase your travel as soon as possible. You got Christmas gifts? Return some of them if you have to. But you have your homework, okay? Plenty of time. Visit my website, travelfootballfan.com. If you need to book that consultation with me, you have all my content here, right? Again, let me start wrapping up now. TikTok ban might or might not happen, so make sure you're following me on all other socials. Subscribe to my YouTube channel right here, right now. YouTube, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope that all of this information has been helpful to you. I hope that you were successful in your Club World Cup purchases, okay? Like I said, I got to go look into some of these tickets to see which ones I'm going to end up doing, which ones I won't. But like I said, it does look like I will be going to several of these Club World Cup games. The prices are not too bad. I was pleasantly surprised by FIFA, but definitely not going to the Inter Miami matches. Unfortunately, those were definitely too expensive. Out of my reach budget wise, and you know it's sad. Also weird that they would put Miami against Porto in Atlanta. That made no sense. At that point you could tell that was definitely a money grab type of situation. That made no sense whatsoever. Anyway, mi gente, thank you so much for joining me in this live stream and for this TikTok live. This is Travel Football Fan. I'm helping fans save money and travel to the 2026 World Cup and 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Have a nice day. Happy New Year. See you en la próxima.